Welcome to the Red Pill News. Take the red pill. Take the red pill. What did you say? I said take the red pill. What did you say? I said take the red pill. What? What? I was. What happened to Little John? What? I said take the red pill, Little John. What? This is the deal. The world is in turmoil. Yes. People are running amok. Yes. The infected are being released in the streets. Yes. But enjoy the happiness that you have right now. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say to y'all. Enjoy the happiness you're experiencing right now because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. There is no political leadership going on anywhere. There is houses of cards falling apart all over the place. I see the governor of New York saying that the COVID numbers are going down. I look at the COVID numbers and they're skyrocketing. Skyrocket. I don't know what she's reading or who told her that. The problem is in New York, right? We lost Andrew Cuomo. We lost Zucker, the head of the health department. We lost all the big people because of Cuomo and his misgivings, sexual harassment, whatever you want to call it. And I don't like the guy. But I will say this: he kept things under control for the most part during the pandemic, except for all those tens of thousands of people that died in nursing homes under their directive. But they didn't know what they were doing at that time either. That's my. I'll give him that room to roam. You know, but this is the deal. He, Cuomo, would have never went along with the CDC's recommendation of 5 days. They're only doing it out of desperation. They're doing it because the supply chains are breaking down, because airline, are canceling. There's everything and anything you think that involves people not out there. The more I see Psaki on there, the spokesperson for this Biden, the more I understand the lies that come from people, and you just have to kind of understand that it's the opposite of what they say. When they say there's more truck drivers now than before and whatever, we have issues, but there's a smart way of doing things, and then there's a dumb way of doing things, and then there's the crisis way of doing things, which leads you into a world of, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. What are we going to do? I wish we had acted on this a long time ago when we had the chance. That's the mode you don't want to be in. You want to be in that smart mode of seeing things coming and learning from the past, learning from experiences. Okay, so you want to keep the supply chain open. All you essential workers will have a 5 day isolation if you have COVID. And then on that sixth day, if you test, you can even test negative, or as long as you have no symptoms. That's really what you want to look for. I mean, there are people who are asymptomatic anyway, and those people still need to wear masks and other kinds of PPE gear and things like that if you want to keep those supply chains open. But then you have people who won't do it. They just don't believe in it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to do it. All the naysayers now see the 5 day isolation as an admission from the CDC that COVID's no big deal. But yet it's the opposite. It's the bigger deal you can imagine. So I'm seeing early reports how children now are going to have to worry about diabetes because of COVID and other harsh and terrible conditions. This virus is no normal virus. It does things that you don't want it to do, especially to your kids. The only thing you can do is avoid it. Try to, but people don't. People don't. So you want to see, all right, so Christmas was a super spreader event, right? People getting together, you see the big numbers. Oh, New Year's Eve, man, another one. Now we have the 5 day isolation and also 5 day quarantine. These governments, like in New York, if you were in isolation or quarantine for 10 days, they would compensate you with your work so you don't have that loss of money for the 10 days or even 14 days. That's basically gone away. Now it's 5 days, and it's anybody's guess. Let's just say that COVID symptoms come on from 2 to 14 days incubation period, and now you're cutting it to 5, and you're giving the people who've been exposed only 5 days. Oh, if they develop symptoms after that, they can test again, and blah 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 blah. You know what it's going to do? Every one person that has COVID, 3, 4, 5, 6 people are going to get COVID from that person. That's just the way it is. Don't talk to me about herd immunity. It doesn't exist when you have animal well populations and you also have other populations within people, you know, especially when they don't get vaccinated and all that. You have all different levels that are going on. So it's a perfect storm. It really is. And not just for America, it's just starting to hit India. I watch the numbers every day. It's just starting to hit India. You can see the sharp increase. And I know it's Omicron just by looking at the rhythm of it and what it does. It goes shoot straight up. 2 million new infections today in the United States of America, and they're saying that's an undercount because they're running out of tests. So what what do people think is going to happen? And learn, because this Omicron, let's just say that COVID-19 has never given us any reason to believe it's going to do anything but what it's doing, increasing, getting more infectious. And then at some point, some variant will come along more deadly, and it's going to be as infectious as Omicron and more. Then what are you going to do? You know? And right now, the hospitals are filling up because of this. And when they said, "Oh, it's no big deal. Omicron is no big deal. It's like the flu or the cold, and it's no big deal." How many people said that I've heard, even in healthcare systems, that it's less dangerous than the Delta virus. Like that's like saying, here this 5-inch knife is less dangerous than this 6-inch knife. You know, it's ridiculous to even say that less dangerous. If you know anybody who works in healthcare, thank them. Thank them for their service. Thank them for being strong in this world because they're seeing all of this. And there's long-term health conditions happening because of COVID-19. It's just not if you catch it, you get sick and you die. It has beyond that. Imagine catching it and then it messes your lungs up. So you have 40, 50% lung reduction capacity for the rest of your life because this thing came and like a razor blade, it cuts your lungs up. Liver, kidneys, brain swelling. You tell me that this COVID is just some normal cold? Come on, man. Come on, man. Then what Biden says, well, come on, man. If I believe that, I believe a moon pie is 5 cents when I know it's 10. That's it. You need people who are in touch in this world. So is it frustrating? Yeah. Is it the worst thing in the world? Yeah. Because you are now, because of the CDC direction, going to see a plume, and when I say that, I mean it, of new virus. And it's going to push and push and push these people. You may think that they have the wherewithal, the intelligence, the degree, and all that. Let me tell you, man, these are political positions. They're not there to fix things. I think that they're struck by this. I see the panic in their eyes. Well, when someone truly doesn't know what's going on, they're terrorized. They just shut down. I've seen that many times. Every morning in the mirror, I see that. Every day I see that panic. See, I don't panic. You know why? Because my whole life was chaos from the time I was born all the way through. So I'm used to it. If things aren't chaotic, I kind of think things there's something wrong. That's how screwed up I am. You know. So when it comes down to chaotic situations, I have no problem holding my head together. And I like to observe other people when they completely lose it. And I'm thinking, wow, that's dangerous. When people completely lose it, and their eyes and the way they are and their faces, how they contort when it all comes out. When they have you ever seen someone completely lose it? I mean, I'm around a lot of people. It's probably no surprise to all of you out there that completely lose it. Because of me sometimes, but because of them mainly. Because I am a mirror. I am a reflection of what they are. So ha 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 ha. Put that in your philosophical pipe and smoke it. But we're going to talk about that, smoking it. How is this for a new study? and I'd love to know the people who did the study because it's fascinating. They said a new study finds cannabis could block COVID-19 from entering the body. So maybe the solution has been marijuana the entire time. A lot of people would agree with that. A lot of Rastafarians. A lot, yeah, man. You're going to kick COVID-19. I'm going to smoke a little bit. Ooh, ain't getting no COVID today. Man, how come you're yakking and hacking so much? You got the COVID? No, man, I got the lamb's bread. That's the way. And I'm not stereotyping Rastafarians. There's the ones that I know smoke marijuana. The ones that I know, and I know a lot of them. They smoke, buddy. Ain't nothing wrong with it. New York legalized it, and a whole bunch of other people did too. So, scientists from Oregon State University, where they grow a lot of weed out in Oregon, Oregon Health Science University published a new peer-reviewed study that examined three cannabis compounds that are found in THC and CBD. Your brain's got THC receptacles. If you weren't supposed to have it, then why would your brain have it? It's very interesting. I don't know if that's true. The pothead told me that. What? Woody Harrelson told me that a while ago. All right, I'm kidding. But yeah, there are THC receptacles. So of course CBD oil is very big. You hear about it a lot. You probably don't know about a lot of it. People are saying it cures all kinds of stuff for people and pets and whatever. I think that you need to look into that more. Anything that cures is good. I'll take a cure, and not just pushing stuff off for a while too. So let's see. So scientists have done the CBD, CBG, A, CBG, CBGBs. I think I remember being there a few times. Tetrahydrocannabinolic acid. There you go. I had that in some popcorn recently, known as THC-A, and whatever. After extracting them from the plant, the biological compounds were then incubated with the spike proteins from COVID-19. Of course, SARS-CoV-2 virus, and they should rename it because 19 stands for 2019. I think we're in our technically speaking, the fourth calendar year of this virus. Fourth. So this was injected into human cells after 24 hours. Scientists discovered that the virus's cells had been miraculously treated by the CBDA and CBGA compounds. The cells had no trace of the COVID-19 RNA, essentially blocking high concentrations of the virus from entering. They've been doing the wrong thing the entire time. You don't need vaccines. You need some reefer, man. You need some weed. You know what I mean? Everybody gets a little baggie of weed from the government, a pound or so, and then lots of government cheese. That stuff is so good. Yeah. If anybody out there remembers government cheese back in the day, my grandmother used to go to like the I'm not going to call it the old folks home because that's disrespectful to elderly Americans. The elderly American home where people go and rot. Basically, they had little functions and whatever. I had those fond days too. Let me tell you, man, I'm a big chess player, and I was. And when I was a kid, I used to go to this. We had a rec center in our town, recreation center, and they had all kinds of stuff. They had a weight room, they had pool tables, they had you think it's not some lush, plush environment either. Like like basically basic stuff, but it was there and available. Tennis courts in the back, that type. No pool though. So anyway, on Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, evening, there'd be all the people from the old folks' home who would come there to play chess. And that was one of my favorite moments, was just going there and sitting down. I learned so much from these people. Basically, I didn't want to be old. That was that was the one thing I learned. I listened to them complain about all the pain they're in. And yeah, I'm there. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for reminding me that. So a technique called the affinity selection. Anyway, my grandmother would go to this old folks home, and then for different events, and then they'd force her to take government cheese home, and she was like embarrassed. She's like thought it was like welfare or something, and then she's like, "Oh, look at this government cheese." She took it out of her like she had like old lady purses, man. They're like gigantic, like 2 feet long. She took a block of government cheese out of her purse. That's pretty big ass purse. It's like 5 pounds cheese. And man, that stuff was good. Then I was looking for government cheese. I was like a government cheese crackhead looking around. I asking people at school, "Hey, anybody get that government cheese?" Some kid would be like, "Yeah." You're like, I'll give you $2. How about $2? Bargaining in the hallways of my school for some government cheese. But it was good stuff. Did that cure anything? No. But it was good stuff. It had a nice taste to it. Yeah, I know it's American cheese. It's fake, but it's America. You know what I mean? It's America. It represents America. Damn it. So if marijuana can destroy COVID-19, I think that they really need to focus on this and expedite the bud, man. Get people out there smoking, right? They can have like instead of injection sites, they can have like giant hookah sites where people can show up, have like a Starbucks coffee. You got people around. You're smoking some weed. You don't have to worry about COVID-19 because the weed is killing COVID-19. And I know some long life potheads, and they're like, "I didn't get COVID yet. I'm not vaccinated, dude." And I often wondered if that was the catalyst. You think they're smoking weed? I actually joked about that and talked about that not long ago that the compounds in marijuana could block COVID-19. I joked about that after reading a study on how the glucose on our cells is what enables the virus to take the shape that it could take and cover and spike protein the cell. So that's what happens, and the sugar acts like the glucose sugar acts like a gateway. And then they were talking about closing that gateway down. And the way you do it is smoke some weed because you get all freaking hungry afterwards. Then you want some enchiladas or something, man. Some pizza. I'd go pizza first. You know that? Pizza with a chocolate chaser, Chocolate goes with everything. There's not one thing on the planet that doesn't go with chocolate. Chocolate is a superfood and it's chocolate. So yeah, the government cheese was badass, man. So yep. So okay. All right, a technique called affinity selection mass spectrometry. No, spectromet spectrometry, god damn it. The technique called affinity selection mass spectrometry. Spectrometry. Stupid. That's right. That's what it's called. Spectrometry. Mass mass spectrometry. Big buds I'm talking about. Was used to access the compounds interacted with the spike protein of COVID-19. The same effect occurred when scientists conducted the experiment on alpha and beta strains of the variants, both found in UK and South Africa. So marijuana is can kill COVID-19. You don't have to smoke it. You can eat it too. They got tons of edibles. Researchers have said that the evidence could provide a strong case for the compounds to be used. These scientists are all smoking, getting high, thinking like, man, we're safe. Like scientists working on weed, and they get paid to do that. I'm in the wrong business, man. They got paid to do that. They got all these big grants. I want some grant money too. I dated a scientist. She used to get big grant money. She got big grant money, like 2 million a year. And she would like go crazy. She said she spent between $5,000 and $7,000 a month on clothes and shoes. And I was like, oh my God. That's when you know that you're in trouble. because I just saw myself like, boom. What I liked about her is that she said that she didn't want anybody to pay for her, and she paid her own way in life, and that was it. You know what, man? That's freaking beautiful. That's freaking beautiful. And I let her go. And who knew that the next 14 years were going to be nothing but hell? Next 14 years, put another 100 years on my life. So I'm like 170 right now, dying to death. Reading a story on the air, broadcasting in 181 countries about people smoking weed and killing COVID-19. Researchers said that the evidence could provide a strong case, man. I like that. For protecting against stronger variants in the future. It's Bud. Bud comes to the rescue. Colorado, they're very happy about they made marijuana recreational quite a while ago, and they've used the hundreds of millions of dollars they've taken in from taxes to build roads, build schools, and do, parks, do great things for people. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? All right. So, and they're not saying alcohol could cures COVID, beer and whatever. No, that's sugar, isn't it? That's what drives it. Sugar drives a lot of terrible things, including cancer. Drives it. I had this huge argument with this woman at one of the parties, like in my other life of the 14-year hell. And then my ex had kids, and those kids had friends, and those kids' friends had parents. So we go to their houses for different things, like have to. I would actually sit in my car for part of the time because it wasn't like anybody I really knew, and there were people that were just not in my world, and I'm not in their world. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like putting a potato in with a whole bunch of cotton balls. There's something something wrong. Something's wrong with this picture. So then, but all these people work for Cornell in some way. They're psychiatrists. Half of them were psychiatrists, which is one of the reasons why I don't want to go in there anyway. Because you can't have a conversation with five psychiatrists and feel comfortable in that conversation that they're all trying to analyze everything you say. That's when I ask them where the bathroom is and not go. Eat that. Chew on that one for a while, Sigmund Freud. I just ruined your whole thing. I just ruined your whole week. When the guy asked to use the bathroom, he didn't go to the bathroom. Why did he ask to use the bathroom if he didn't go to the bathroom? That's right. I just crumpled up a piece of paper, threw it on the floor, and said, "What do you make of it?" That's these people, man. But you can never talk to them. You can never have a conversation with them because it's always some you know thing. It's always something. So, and then I'm trying not to embarrass the kids to begin with, and not talk about the things that I normally do. These guys all know that I'm out there in the world, and and paranormal stuff and whatever, and everyone wants to talk about the paranormal. Everybody, they're especially if you're in it. You're making shows, you're in it, you're doing whatever. They want to talk to you because their lives are them listening to other people's problems is their life. I'm out there talking to ghosts. Damn it. Different stuff. Talking to people who talk to ghosts, or talking to people who think they're talking to ghosts. Something like that. Same for anything. Same for anything, man. You know, what you got? Cryptozoology? I'll take some of that. You get some UFO stuff? I love it, man. It's different anyway. It's better than watching crap TV, which is what most people do. So I was talking to this woman about cancer. And I said, there was this doctor who sent hundreds of people into remission by trimming their diet of carbohydrates. Focusing on a very low level of carbohydrate. Now you see this ketosis diet and putting your body into ketosis. There's always some new thing, right? So, but the person I was talking to was a nutritional scientist, and she was always real nasty at the soccer games anyway. So I didn't mind if if I was myself with her anyway. Anyway, but she starts like, I made the statement because we're in a little group of people about what this doctor had found. I thought it was interesting, and we were talking about that type of stuff. And then she starts laughing. She's like, oh, who said that? I'm like AMA, you know, doctor group. I did not read that. I have never heard. I work in nutritional science. I've never heard of. Like, if you've never heard of it, you gotta like get up to date with stuff. You know what I mean? She got all like flustered, I guess, because I was just some kind of I don't know, what do you call me, troll, class clown, heckler, infidel, whatever. It all fits. I answer to anything, as a matter of fact. It all works. So, and she stomped off to go sit with all the other women, and they're kind of like all looking at me, sneering. The sisterhood, you know. He is so stupid. Made a stupid statement about something I didn't know about. How dare he? Yeah, how dare I? I dare. You know why? Because who cares? You know what? If you're in the game, you better put it down. If somebody else puts it down, are you going to look like a fool? So you got to put your thing down. And I put my thing down. And they don't appreciate that. I didn't have fun at that party, is what I'm saying. Except for the barbecue food that the only dude I liked in the whole damn thing, and he's like some ultra conservative, so I can't even talk politics with him. But nobody else liked him because he was ultra conservative, because it's a huge liberal group. so, so he just the fact I was standing next to the guy, people were looking at me. But I don't care. You know what? It doesn't phase me, because here I am reading an article to millions of people, over a million, about people smoking weed and get rid of COVID-19. I don't know what that nutritional scientist is doing. But anyway, if you're not willing to think outside the box, you will never be in the world of discovery. Thank you. Unless something falls right in your lap, or you continue to work for somebody that is now dead, or something that that was thinking outside the box. So CBDA and CBGA, virus neutralizing capabilities, are definitely promising, but researchers said the compounds would most likely have to be consumed in the form of a pill or liquid. So put that stuff in some chocolate in order for people to truly experience the benefits. So here's a chocolate bar. Eat it, and you're not going to get COVID-19. Be a lot of fat people running around. Can they put it in something like diet? Some just popcorn with no butter? Ugh. Ugh. You know it's terrible? Those rice cakes. Those rice cakes are an abomination of humankind. If you want to know everything wrong with the human race, it's a rice cake. It's in a rice cake, and people will eat them. There's not even anything you could put on there to make it good. Now, even if you ladled fat and sugar and all crap on there, it still would taste like a rice cake. The rice cake would ruin the taste of all the other stuff. All right, should I read the comments? Let's see. Here we go. Marijuana needs to be legalized at the federal level, and employers need to stop testing potential employees for marijuana use. How is relaxing with a joint after work any different than relaxing with a couple of drinks? Marijuana is also effective medicine for certain conditions. Certain. And then we have the answer. I agree with you. The issue is coming up with a test that determines impairments. La, 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 la. Just leave people alone, the stuff that they do. How's that? All these people, you think that guy smokes some weed? Sounds like it. It sounds like it. This is a huge discovery, right? Because this just happened. So right here on Red Pill knows, the Red Pill knows, you guys are in the moment on the Red Pill News. You're in the moment. But here it is. All right. So there's that. All right. Now we move along to this poor guy who's in big trouble and he might need some financial assistance for lawyers. Police charge a man after South Dakota seniors unwittingly eat pot brownies. There's a problem with well, there's a problem with edibles, right? That you don't know if some kid's going to come along and eat that candy bar, eat those gummy bears, or whatever it looks like. They have chocolate milk drinks, with cannabis in it, right? Here we go. The stakes were high and scary at a South Dakota community center card game. A group of seniors inadvertently ate a batch of cannabis brownies brought by a 73-year-old woman who didn't know that her adult son had baked them with THC butter. Maybe she did know and she took them. Maybe that was just her excuse. Oh, I didn't know. That works in politics and everything. I didn't know. No, it's my first day. They look like brownies to me. 73-year-old lady, all nice. They look like brownies to me. Okay, okay, lady, you can go. I've got some government cheese in my purse. Do you want some? No, no, it's okay. You keep your cheese, lady. The incident happened last Tuesday in Tabor, a town with a population of 423 people. What? What? According to an affidavit obtained by the Smoking Gun, police responded to several calls of a possible poisoning that found all the patients have been playing cards, that they're all under the influence. Cops arrested Michael Cordana, 43 years old, after he reportedly told them he had cooked the illicit goods with a half pound of THC butter he bought in Colorado, where recreational cannabis is legal. Here's a picture of the dude. He's got What's going on with his hair, man? It looks like he shoved his head up an elephant's butt and pulled it back out again. Someone should he's got to stop eating those pot brownies, this guy, man. Somebody should definitely fire his barber. I don't know. Whatever's going on with this guy is going on. He's got a little hair volcano happening. I know there's an unhappy elephant somewhere, or maybe they're happy. I don't know. I don't know any. Coranda then went to bed, and his mother unknowingly took the brownies to the card game where several people ate them. So he made the pot brownies, then he went to bed because he probably ate a couple, three, four, and was stoned. See, now when you eat it, this is a deal. I'm going to educate you guys. When you smoke marijuana, the smoke goes in your lungs. It's a more direct path into your bloodstream. So you get higher faster and it lasts lesser of a time. When you eat the stuff, it gets broken down by your liver instead. So it's a slower process to get high, but you're higher longer. And I have no idea. I really have no idea what it's like doing edibles. I'm not really a defender of edibles. I think they're good for people who need the medical and they don't want to smoke. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so let's see. Now he was charged with possession of a controlled drug or substance, which is punishable to 5 years in prison. Where is this guy? Not Colorado, South Dakota. Oh yeah, man. South Dakota, they'll beat you down for some weed, which is funny. You think that they'd be giving it out for free in South Dakota just to keep people there. You know what I mean? But yeah, 5 years in prison for getting a whole bunch of old people high. There was no word on any injuries. No, those guys had those. The only injury is that they didn't know that they were going to get high. It's no fun to get high, and you don't know it. People spiking your brownies, and you don't know, and all of a sudden you're like, woohoo! You know what I mean? It was probably like in that movie, Cocoon. Ever seen Cocoon? Where like the alien eggs were in the pool, and the old people were swimming with the pool. Then they started getting all young and like vibrant. They're still in their old horrible bodies, but they're all young and vibrant, dancing and whatever. I don't know how I felt about that whole thing. So they were probably like some brownies. Woo! Put some AC/DC on. They're jamming out. Let's see. Cannabis edibles have a significantly stronger effect on users than smokable marijuana. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much weed you smoke and how much stuff you eat. I guess you can have too much of anything, right? Manufacturers warn that it is easy to accidentally ingest a paralyzing amount of over-consuming the tasty treats. Did he say that? Was that the manufacturer's warning? It can mess you up, our tasty treats, you know? There's just something about the tasty treats. There's something about that sentence that cracks me up. Okay. South Dakota voters approved an amendment to legalize recreational cannabis in November, but the referendum was struck down by the state's high court. The high court. That's funny. The high court. You think they had some brownies hanging around? We're going to put your ass in prison for 5 years for getting a bunch of old people high. But I will say, sir, that your brownies are delicious. Thank you. Thank you. Have fun. Oh my God. So, okay. Now, this guy should have just said, I'm trying to cure COVID-19, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to protect. I read an article about how marijuana cures COVID, and I'm trying to protect the elderly people. Took it upon myself as a volunteer to go in there and make sure that they are protected as if it were, with a shield, a marijuana shield, the brownie shield for COVID-19. I am a hero. That's what he should have said. I bet he didn't say anything. I bet the judge was looking at the guy's hair, thinking that I should give him 5 years just for his head. 5 years. It's horrible. Horrible. Anyway, the battle of the Karens is on. We see the Karens out there. I like the little code word Karen. I have a sister named Karen. She's not like those people, though. Maybe she is. I think the older you get, the more you turn into the things you never wanted to turn into. Not saying it's happening to her. I'm just saying that's what happens, right? And let's see. So there's two sets of people out there: those who do, and those who are shocked that those others do. Right? Seems like it. Women flashing crowd leads to wild brawl at Supercross event. What is Supercross? This girl, she's pretty good looking, got a cup of beer. She's multitasking. She has a cup of beer in her mouth. She's holding it with her teeth and flashing everybody in the stadium at the same time. Spectacular. That's talent right there. You know what? A lot of beer companies would appreciate that, man. I'm not a beer drinker myself, but I think that that's what that is. So you know what the problem is? The woman's an idiot, and flashing her boobs around all those people, kids, and whatever, and anything that could happen and could happen. It's not the forum for it, right? But then you have people who are happy to get violent over things like this, and they've given the green. I mean, the last several years now of everybody fighting politically and all that, and you see the battles on out there. It's given people the green light to be violent. The second you don't like something, they raise their hands in violence. I had really hoped that we would be getting away from that as a people, but I think that as it's part of human nature, it's very difficult. So here we go. Let's see. This past Saturday, Anaheim One Supercross hosted an event at Angel Stadium. A woman flashed the crowd holding her beer. So the one who's flashing, the one who's fighting, the people in the stands, all the guys looking at the woman who's flashing, none of them have a mask on. We're in a COVID crisis, and here's a whole stadium of just effed up people. So it's pretty good, though. She's kind of got a little Elvira thing going on. Look, she opened up her coat. Another woman lectured the flasher, saying there were children. There are children around. What about the kids? Kids, You know about those kids? They're gonna go into their school and they're gonna say, "I was at the Supercross event. My parents are so banging stupid. They took me to this thing to begin with." and uh, and this woman showed her boobs. Oh, oh, oh. And that'll be the end of it. Nobody scarred for life. Nobody dying in the streets. No kid's gonna pick up a pistol and run around and shoot up a school because he saw a pair of boobs. That's the problem with America. The people are focused. What the status quo thinks that you shouldn't look at is the opposite. Boobs is not the problem. Problems. Problems are not the problems. Thank you. Okay. So from there, some of course, this battle goes on. You have this Karen running at the woman, and the Karen woman, is very unsightly. That's my commentary because I can't show you a picture of her, so I have to describe. And the boob woman is the opposite of that. So I think there's a little anger going on there, and maybe I don't know, jealousy or something. I don't know. So from there, the video skips a little here, but then we can see the woman who lectured the flasher get a beer tossed on her, not from the flasher, just from some dude who's having fun looking at the boobs, and the Karen's coming to destroy his good time, and he has a cup of beer. These events with all the beer, it's a bad idea. It really is. And a lot of the problems that happen to these things is because of that. I'm just putting that out there. They should get some marijuana. They cure some COVID-19 with some weed. It's not it's not clear how the situation. And that woman was all stoned. She wouldn't even care the girl flashed her boobs. She probably like, oh, it's all right. Oh. To calm down a little bit. It's not clear how the situation ended. Police told TMZ that they broke up the two fights in the event and that evening, but neither of them involved a complaint about a flasher. So the cops came along and broke up two other fights. There is a video here. Look at this. It's loud. She's pretty attractive, man. She has those nice boots. There's children. What about the kids? I don't see any children. Oh, and they're throwing their expensive beer. Those guys must have really those guys must have really not liked that Karen woman because I know that those beers are really expensive at those events. They're not giving them away. Wow. But that's people. That's just how gross those people are. When you go to something like that and you encounter all of this, you are putting yourself in that situation. What's a supercross event? What the hell is it? Is it like a motorcycle thing? Let me see. It's a supercross. Cross. You got a schedule. Here's the one in Oakland. Oakland, not a very safe place to begin with. What the hell is supercross? Supercross. Is that where is it like a transvestite thing? Supercross. I see a lot of word out there. You know something? I'm seeing transvestite swimmers who are competing in girl sports, and one just got beat by another transvestite. Sooner or later, it's gonna be all transvestites. I don't even know how that I don't know how these poor girls are gonna fare against a dude. It's a man's body, muscular, the whole bit. You know what? It's none of my business. Yeah. All I know is that these days you gotta just roll with the tides. I don't judge anybody on anything unless they're terrible people and they're hurting people or animals or whatever. You know what I mean? Other than that, if you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting any animals. You're just out there living your life. Whatever you do is what you do. Come on, man. So what the hell is this supercross anyway? It's gotta be like motorcycle. Here it is, yeah. Dirt bikes. So the people are going to go and watch a bunch of dirt bikes. They always fascinate me. The people that go to these events and watch cars go around, in an oval type of thing, or you know, just machines against machines with people riding the machines. Yes, he's Supercross. These guys are falling off their motorcycles. They're jumping around. They got the fires and the flames and people getting injured. And then you get a girl like that in the stands showing her boobs. You see, it actually fits in quite well. I think the woman and angry was the wrong one because you're misjudging the event. That event is exactly made for that type of sleaze. I hate to say. Am I being rude? Good. Because there's a better thing for humanity than sitting in an arena sucking fumes, watching machines run around the circle. It's bizarre. You know what I mean? Monster trucks, all that. When those monster trucks goes out of control and they drive over an audience and all these people get killed, and I'm like, they put themselves there. What do you expect a monster truck to do? You know what I mean? That's why it's called monster truck. So how about weird news of the week? I don't know if we have enough time. I'm going to do 3 fast stories. Weird news. I have a whole bunch saved up for this Kanye and everything he's doing. I'm gonna save it all up for like next week and just kind of blurt it all out and just do like a one liner for each of the stories because it's just funny as hell and getting funnier by the day. All right, weird news of the week. Desperate Kim Jong Un pleads with citizens to make more poop. All right. You know, he's shooting his missiles off again. You get rid of that Trump, that's what happens. You got Kim Jong Un shooting off his missiles. North Korea is placing as much emphasis on producing manure as it is on firing missiles, and it doesn't matter whether it comes from people or animals. While test firing 2 missiles in less than a week, North Korea has been waging the battle for manure, which is far more vital for average North Koreans than the splash of another test shot off the East Coast. The quest has reached crisis level over the past 2 years as fertilizer has stopped coming in from China. Guess China's not making as much shit as they used to. So, COVID-19 got in the way. They better send some weed. And North Korea's leader Kim Jong Un closed borders at the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic because they don't want COVID coming in, especially in some poop. And then last March, the North refused donations from South Korea while demanding an end to U.S. and U.S. sanctions. So you see, you have. Oh, here we go. The urgency of the quest doesn't sound like BS to me, Victor Cha, who is in charge of the North Korea issues, in charge of North Korea. Who is in charge of North Korea issues at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C. He's in charge of the Poop Fest. He says it's an interesting commentary that smells of how serious the crop situation is without the annual fertilizer shoveled out by the South Korea. Right there, this guy is more witty than any nighttime host on television. Right there, right there. They look for this Victor Cha. You give him his own TV show, man. Get this Victor Cha with his poopy little comments. That's weird story number 1. Here we go. Weird story number 2. Do we have time? Pope, the Pope, the big Pope, Pope in the Vatican. Pope slips out of the Vatican to visit record shop, gets a CD. Now, is that a CD like music? Or is that a CD like, I'm just putting that out there. It was nighttime. Pope Francis grew up listening to opera on the radio. He's a fan of Argentine tango and thinks Mozart lifts you to God. But it still came as something of a shock to see an 85-year-old pontiff coming down of a downtown Rome record shop late Tuesday with it coming out of it with a CD in his hand. He had made an unannounced visit that was caught on camera by the Vatican reporter who happened to be nearby, just happened to be standing there. Okay. And then they said that he was in the neighborhood of Rome's Pantheon when he noticed a white Fiat 500 with Vatican license plates and some police parked in front of the stereo shop. Yeah, I'm sure they had to shut down the whole goddamn street for this dude. You know, ooh, the Pope wants to go into a record shop and get a CD. Just shut down the whole damn street. You got to protect the Pope. Nobody would even know who he was unless they really looked at him. You know why? Because it's the way he dresses. It's the way he dresses, man. You want the Pope to go out incognito? You know what? Put him in like a jogging suit with a fedora. Nobody would ever know who the hell he was. Dress him up as a nun or something, man. There's a lot of things you could do. You know that? Put him in one of those burkas. Get him out there. Get him out the door. Come on, man. This is stuff that just, I don't like stories of the rich and wealthy when they kind of reach into normal situations. They have to shut everything down. New York City is like that all the time, or was like that anyway, when you had people, so-called dignitaries, coming to town, shutting off blocks and blocks and grids of streets just so they can go down with no traffic. And it's like that. I remember when Prince Charles went to California for some movie opening. It cost us millions of dollars for his security. And at the time, I did a TV show in Ithaca, and I was like, what is the deal? Like, why do we have to pay for this guy coming to see a movie? That's what the deal is. That's why we are not worth anything to these people, man. You know that? And this guy, Pope Francis, can get anything he wants online, and all he has to do is ask for it, and they'll run out and get it for him. He probably just wanted to get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of that Vatican. Probably real depressing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there with our weird stuff. We have no more time for the weird thing. Although Kanye's becoming my hero stalker, and Pete Davidson's becoming my hero meth head. I think I don't know if he does it. I don't know. The guy looks like he's blazed all the time. I don't know if he just looks like that. I think he's just happy doing what he's doing, driving Kanye crazy. A lot of guys would be happy just driving Kanye crazy. The last guy, you know what I mean? There's something to that. And the women love that too, because they want to torture their exes, especially if they monkey branched up to a better branch, which she didn't. Although this guy likes to smile. I don't see Kanye smiling too much. Maybe that's part of it, man. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna condense all that for you guys next week. And then just go on from there. Oh yeah, and now scientists believe that the COVID leaked from the Wuhan lab. They believed it, but they feared the debate could hurt international harmony. There you go. Not like killing millions of people around the world can affect international harmony. So there you go, scientists. I will see you guys next week on the Red Pill News. Take the red pill. Take the red pill. Take the red pill. And I will say hasta la vista, babies.